In today's episode of our Big Lap series, we make the snap decision to continue our high country adventure. After exploring the second half of the Crooked River Track and crossing the historical King Will Bridge, we decide to take on one of the steepest tracks in the Victorian high country, the infamous Billy Goats Bluff.
We are Daniel and Bianca from Explorebound, and this is our Big Lap series. At the start of 2025, we packed our entire life into our trusty D-Max and headed off for the trip of a lifetime.
Starting in Perth, WA, we are making our way around mainland Australia to try and see as much of this beautiful country as we can fit into the year.
We'll be sleeping in our rooftop tent and living out of our fully custom DIY canopy fit out that's been a year in the making just for this trip.
So sit back, relax and enjoy the journey while we take you through all the highs and lows that the Big Lap can bring.
This series is proudly supported by Anaconda and also made possible thanks to iTech World, Altic and Thai Gear. Good morning and welcome to another episode of our Big Lap series, which probably isn't one you guys were expecting if you've been following along for our journey. Because in the last episode we were making our way out of the Victorian high country with some aerolites on the D-Max, our ABS wasn't working, our rear diff lock wasn't working, our steering wasn't working properly. However, that all seemed to go away overnight, so I did chat to a mechanic friend of mine. Shout out to Jake, who gave me some advice to say that it's probably the steering angle sensor that gets a bit unhappy on these modern four-wheel drives while off-road. That's all gone away, the car is driving beautifully and we're pretty confident to go and tackle a pretty exciting challenge today. So what are we doing?
We have decided we will do Billy Goats Bluff.
Yes!
Woo! So we are heading there now, nice and early in the morning. The sun hasn't even hit us yet. In saying that, we're in a valley, so it probably won't hit us for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, so we camped up last night at Talbotville again because we just loved it so much. Honestly, it's probably our favourite campsite in our whole lap so far, I reckon.
And it is pretty close to the start of this Billy Goats Bluff Track, which we're about to tackle, so that worked out well. And
also, we were 50-50, so like even after the D-Max had cleared its codes and we're like, all right, cool, it's mechanically fine, we were still 50-50 because we just didn't want to push it and we weren't sure, we weren't confident. But then we actually ran into Aussie Arvos on the track out as we were going back to Dargo to get some fuel. And yeah, we had a chat to Patrick and co, and yeah, they said pretty much if we've done blue rags, then Billy Goat Bluff should be a walk in the park because it's been graded, and blue rag is quite dug up at the moment. So with that in mind, we were like, oh,
that gave us all the confidence we needed, so I thought, like, you know what, let's do it.
We were like, bugger it, let's do it. So we went in, got fuel, and then came back to Talbotville and stayed there the night. It was pretty busy last night. All the Arvos actually ended up camped there as well.
Yeah, it was
as well as some Mitts Alloy guys, I think,
ARB was there, so it was like a YouTube / four-wheel drive company campsite last night, which is pretty cool. And this morning we are making our way along the Crooked River Track, the opposite end to what we did the previous day.
Yep.
That's going to take us out to across the King Will Bridge, which we're pretty excited to check out.
Yes.
And then to the start of the Billy Goat Bluff Track.
right, we are at the start of the Billy Goat Bluff Track here, and we've just let our tyres down, so we've put them down to 15 on the front and about 18 or 20 on the back.
Yeah, just more on the rear because there's a lot more weight there, so they already balloon a lot just naturally.
Yeah,
so that's got us up most stuff so far, so fingers crossed it's right for this track too.
Yeah, from here though, it's like a little kind of parking area, and there's a bit of a sign that talks about the Alpine National Park and also a bit around Billy Goat Bluff and the Wangata region. But we can't actually see much of the track from here, so I have no idea what we're in for yet.
Yeah.
Haven't even seen it. But
it's supposedly a very steep climb, but they have graded it recently, so we're hoping it's not too crazy. Bianca's going to be at the wheel to get her first real experience driving, I guess, terrain of this gradient, I suppose.
Gradient, yeah. I think. I'm really quite nervous because not so much like, I'm just nervous that if we come across something that's a bit hairy, because you're constantly going up, you just don't know, like I don't know if there's going to be an option for me to stop and have a breather and reassess, or if we want to swap, if I'm getting too, like if I'm not confident enough to drive it, will we even have a chance to like swap, or are we just going to be on too much of a hill to even do that?
There is there's a helipad about halfway up that is kind of, from what I've heard, your only real stopping zone.
It's the only point to turn around.
From here we'll be committed to probably halfway up the track, but I reckon Bianca can do it. She's a pretty confident four-wheel driver.
Yeah,
and the D-Max has proven itself, so it should be fine.
Yeah, so I might just do some last checks on the D-Max, make sure she's good, and we're gonna hit the track.
Straight into it. Woo! Good luck now. Just click it once. Give it a second. You'll click it when it's ready.
So far though, this is fine.
Oh, Bianca's adjusting the aircon. That's how relaxed she is.
I was getting
get some tunes going.
Nope. Wow, that is sticky.
Holy crap. The camera's not going to do it justice, but I kind of feel like I'm just like laying back on a bed right now.
Yeah, I'll be curious. This is, I would guess around a 20 to 25 degree incline. Maybe almost 30 in some parts, but not flat. It is steep, don't get me wrong, but nice and smooth.
As a passenger, I get to enjoy a lovely view.
It's hurting my neck having to hold it up so much.
Need a neck pillow.
It's not dissimilar to like when you're lying under the car and like trying to work on it, like lifting your neck up. It's actually, like, I don't know about you, it's hurting my neck.
Yeah.
Because I have to really like arch my leg.
I can just relax, lay back. Alrighty, we're on to the second half of this track.
We have just left the helipad and we are descending a nice little steep hill, and then it's all up until the summit.
Yeah.
Like, how is there any hill left to climb?
You keep feeling like you're at the summit and you're round a bend and there's another like 25-degree incline.
I feel sorry, I'm like waiting to give the D-Max a break because it's just been really steady, very steep uphill climb, and all I can think about is like, I hope we're not starving that engine of too much oil. I hope it's not getting too hot. It needs to like have a moment to cool down, not, you know, without load on it, but there's just, we just keep climbing, hope for the best. We're almost at the top. According to HEMA, we are like, I don't know what the scale is, but within like 100 meters or so.
So made it to the top of the Billy Goats Bluff Track, parked up at the Pinnacles Lookout car park just here. Bianca did very well driving the D-Max to the summit.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was not nearly as bad as we thought, but we're gonna go hike up and have a look at the fire station.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Wow.
Oh, bloody hell.
We have officially made our way to the top of the Pinnacles Lookout here at the end of that Billy Goat Bluff Track, and I think this will be where you get some pretty spectacular views in a clear day. Today that view is pretty much all cloud, which has its own beauty in its own way.
It definitely does, and it also clears up every now and then, and you'll see like a patch of blue sky, and then you'll get to see all the way down to the bottom for a moment.
Yeah,
so
we are so high right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think this was 1,445 meters, I think, from memory, looking at the HEMA. So yeah, there's a lovely cliff face that we just walked along the top of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike to get to the very summit here.
Yeah, I think it's about 350 meters from the car park to here, and it's pretty steep, but it's like, it's well, you know, it's a track with a rail, so it's fine. But,
yeah, and it feels good to have conquered it. We're here.
Yes, we've made it to the top of another mountain.
On our way down from the Pinnacles Lookout, we stopped in to check out Mount Wellington, but that climb just wasn't meant to be. Well, Mount Wellington was unfortunately closed, so we've jumped back on the tracks, and that pretty much marks the end of our current Victorian high country adventure. As sad as it is to say goodbye to this amazing place, we have thoroughly enjoyed our time here.
Absolutely. We have had such an adventure over the last week. We have explored way more than we actually meant to, but we also got to tick off some real high bucket list items for us for the high country, which was obviously the Blue Rag Range track and the Billy Goat Bluff Trail track. Is that right? Billy Goats Bluff Track?
Crooked River Trail as well in there too.
Got to do that and found an awesome camp at Talbotville. I definitely want to come back there. I don't know if we'll be able to go back there in winter though, because those river crossings, I imagine, will be quite high.
I was going to say, I reckon all the stuff we've done now is stuff we weren't going to be able to do later on in the year, which is one of the reasons why we chose to duck in here right now. And just so glad we did. Like, Victoria has some of the most amazing camping we've seen so far. Definitely leagues above WA, which pains us to say, but it's just true. It's free, there's awesome amenities, amazing views, and there's just so much of it. You'll never be stuck to find a campsite.
No, definitely. You guys know how to do it over here in Victoria, and for those of you that live here, you guys are so lucky to have this in your backyard as your playground. And it's just endless. Like, anywhere you look, there's just tracks. So yeah, we absolutely love the Vic High Country, and really looking forward to coming back here again later in the year when it's very much colder and wetter and probably snowy.
Seeing a bit of a different environment.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we'll come as high up into the mountains as we have this time, because I don't think we'll be able to.
We'll see. So we can't wait to see what that trip has in store. But for now, we're about to get back down to flat ground and head back into South Australia and finish that portion of the trip before continuing around and seeing the rest of this amazing country. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope you guys enjoyed coming along with us for our brief dip into the high country, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Happy camping.
Join us in the next episode of our Big Lap series as we explore the Coffin Bay National Park in South Australia. From sandboarding down some of the most epic dunes we've seen all trip, to paddleboarding across crystal clear water at sunset and trying their famous oysters, this was one area of Australia we never wanted to leave.